Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The next weather maker is headed our way, and it means back-to-back weather alert days for the weekend. I'll have the timing for the storms coming up.
Storm cleanup. Some areas are racing to clean up after flash flooding as round 2 heads their way.
And we have sunshine here for the opening of Gibson Play Park in just a few hours. I'll tell you how excited people already are and some really cool, fun things to do here. You can tell Elizabeth is excited as well. This afternoon is hotter and drier, but more storms are in the forecast for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are WRAL weather alert days. Thanks for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Levingood. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is here in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with the timing for the storms. Talk a little bit about what we're going to see, Amy.
It'll be afternoon and evening hours, both Saturday and Sunday, that we have to deal with this, that the center part of the country is having to deal with today. So this is going to continue moving to the east and impact us both days this weekend. So we have issued a pair of weather alert days. Here's a look at the risk on Saturday. It's a level 2 risk for the entire viewing area. The timing is from around 2 o'clock in the afternoon until around 10 o'clock in the evening. The biggest threat would be some strong damaging winds, and that could lead to some power outages. Sunday, most of us under a level 2 risk as well. The timing a little different, 2 o'clock in the afternoon until around 8 o'clock in the evening. The northwestern part of the viewing area and a level 1 risk. And again, on Sunday, it looks like the biggest threat with storms will be strong damaging winds. So let's break down what a level 2 risk means. We'll have scattered severe storms that are fairly short-lived and not really widespread, but some of them could become intense and they could cause some wind damage. Damaging winds will be the biggest threat this weekend, but we also have a hail threat. I've been looking at the latest model data. It looks like the tornado threat is very, very low. So I think we're talking about mainly strong damaging winds that could take down some trees. So hour by hour Saturday, the first part of the day, you're going to be fine. So if you want to get outside, the first part of the day is the time to do it. Afternoon and evening, those storm chances start to go up. Sunday will look fairly similar. In the morning, it's pretty dry, but afternoon and evening, we'll be dealing with some of these severe storms. So what can you do now? Download the new WRAL weather app. It will alert you as these storms are approaching your area so you can get to safety. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will have more on this with Futurecast coming up.
The cleanup in Sanford is on today after several inches of rain pounded Lee County. This is what it looks like today inside businesses near Little Buffalo Creek. The water has gone down, but folks there are preparing for a replay of yesterday with more rain on the way. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is there now. Sean, you've had a chance to talk to some of the people there. How concerned are they about this weekend?
Yeah, in a word, very. But you can see inside they're really focused on what is happening now, which is the cleanup effort. They've got a bunch of these dryers to try and dry what you see here down on the ground. It is just moist, muddy, awful. And really, as you get further into this business, you can see just how bad it was. This is the line where the water was up here in the front of the business, and in the back closer to the creek, it's even worse. And it looks a lot better now than it did compared to yesterday. Take a look, the video from yesterday where these businesses were just pounded by the water. It even lifted some cars right off the ground and moved it. It was detrimental. And the people that I spoke to at this business tell me it's going to take months for them to get some of these buildings back on their feet. And David Lamb, the man who owns this building, tells me it could be detrimental for the people who actually work in this building.
Got 5 or 6 businesses that are going to be out of commission for could be 60 or 90 days, right? I've got very expensive equipment in there and cars. And plus, I'm a big part, I've been in Sanford my whole life, and so I'm a big part of revitalization, and then, something like this happens. But
And the flash flooding also led to some 3,900 gallons of wastewater overflowing from Little Buffalo Creek, though it appears that none of that has caused any environmental damage. And right out here now, you can kind of see they are taking a break now as we're in the noon hour. The crew's much needed break, but they're really just preparing for what's next. A lot of this is just, kind of getting the debris out that has happened over the last day, and they don't know what to expect over the next few days with the rain coming again. They don't know if Little Buffalo Creek will once again come out and into their business. But we'll go around the area, try to talk to some more folks about the cleanup efforts today. But for now, live in Sanford, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
And the weather threats are not over. You can prepare for this weekend's storms by downloading the new WRAL weather app. Turn on alerts to get notified about severe weather in your location. It's available for free for Apple and Android devices. Breaking news, large amounts of suspected cocaine, meth, and marijuana were seized from a home this morning in Zebulon. This happened on West Franklin Street. Police say the search is part of a joint investigation with Wake Forest Police aimed at addressing the sale and distribution of illegal drugs. It's not clear if officers made any arrests during the search. Today is National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Leaders in Orange County are encouraging people to wear orange this weekend. This is part of a nationwide campaign. This year, leaders in Orange County are highlighting the steps people can take to prevent gun violence. This includes education and safe storage of guns. The Orange Firearm Safety Team compiled a list of recommended safe practices. You can find that list on the county website under Prevention Resources.
Arrest number 9 was made in connection to the mass shooting in Catawba County. Authorities arrested Tolan Huff Jr. this morning, and he's facing 1 count of attempted first-degree murder. The first man charged in connection to that shooting remains in jail because a judge revoked his bond. Aaron Killian was charged with attempted murder in connection with the shooting, but his hearing yesterday was for a separate weapons case from April. The judge revoked his bond from the April shooting, and 1 person died and 11 others were injured in the shooting last weekend.
An alliance built on wealth and power could be coming to an end. President Donald Trump and Elon Musk are trading jabs at one another on social media. So what happens when the president of the United States squares off against the world's richest man? Amy Kiley reports some analysts say they both lose.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore.
Observers say a feud between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk could have consequences for them both. Musk says he doesn't like what Trump calls his big, beautiful bill. Nonpartisan analysis shows it could add $2.4 trillion to the deficit over the next decade. Musk argues that would defeat all the cost savings achieved by Doge.
This is really interesting to see if it will sort of get others to sort of push back at Trump, because if this guy does it, maybe we can do it.
Some fiscal hawks sound fine with the bill dying or changing in the Senate.
I think that patient is on life support.
It's easy to be the parent that says, we're going to go to Disney World. It's hard to be the parent that says, yeah, but we can't afford it.
A repost from Musk about making peace follows his poll about making a new political party.
This is someone who has some means and methods to do something about it.
The feud is hurting Musk, too. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index says his net wealth took a $34 billion hit yesterday, and Tesla stock fell about 14%. And Trump has the ability to threaten Musk's government contracts.
Trump, of course, can attack him all manner of ways, through the Justice Department, through investigations, impugning him.
Jobs report is out, and the labor market remains solid. Employers in the U.S. added 139,000 jobs last month, despite uncertainty over President Trump's trade wars. That job gain was in line with what economists were expecting. The steady hiring indicates businesses are still seeing enough demand for goods and services to fill open roles and add new ones. Unemployment stayed at 4.2%.
I'll tell you what, Renee, Wall Street very excited to see that jobs report. We're talking 390 points up right now. You see the Dow Jones there. Quite a few people are reacting for that pretty positive jobs report that we just went through. Just a heads up, drivers in Wake County, this weekend detours will be in place along Old Stage Road. Teams will be working on the Complete 540 project. Old Stage Road will close just south of 1010 Road at 7 p.m. tonight and then last until 6 a.m. Monday. Detour routes will be posted, but you are encouraged to avoid that area if at all possible.
We're less than 4 hours away from the grand opening of Raleigh's newest playground. And it's not just for kids, it's also for those who are a kid at heart.
WRAL's meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner live at Dix Park with a look at the all-new Gibson Play Plaza. Toughest assignment of the day, Elizabeth.
It absolutely is. But you know what I'll tell you is tough about it is to actually give you a real sense of what's here, because it's absolutely enormous. And you hear that over and over, but it really truly is a must see. There's so many details to this that are very special and creative. Where I am right now is called Slide Valley. So there's slides all over the place. One of them is right here. This is the longest slide, at least right here in Slide Valley. And the thing about this one is you can work for it if you want to. So, hey, I figure you got to earn it, right? All right, so I'm climbing up. We've got these handholds here. Zipper right up here, up the slide. There are 18 acres of park here to explore. And from way up here, you have really an amazing view. All right, so then the payoff. All right, here I come. And you know, not all slides are built for grown-ups, but that one works great. So come on out and enjoy. Let's walk over here also, and you can see what else is involved in Slide Valley. There are all these towers right here with slides coming off of them. There's slides tucked into little bitty corners. This is the kind of park that really lends itself to your curiosity, either as a child or an adult. All right, after that, I'm a little bit out of breath. It is hot out here. Can you tell? I'm going to be sweating to death. I've got several other things that I'm excited to show you. Let's take a quick look at the forecast. It is going to be a hot afternoon. There's a lot of sunshine out here. We'll see a high of around 90, and it's going to feel more like 95. More of that to come over the weekend, of course, along with a chance for severe storms. But there will be some opportunities to get outside. We'll take a look coming up.
She's having the time of her life out there.
She's like scaling a mountain. Yeah, I don't blame you. But 10 out of 10 on your slide form. That was fantastic. All right. I want to get out there at some point. Elizabeth, thank you. Graduation announcement safety. When you let people online know when your child is graduating, that could compromise your and their safety and privacy. A live interview explaining why next.
AI, how much faster the tech is evolving and how it's refusing orders from and making threats to human users.
Sickle cell roundtable, the disease affecting tens of thousands of people. A preview of a special event to highlight the disease just minutes away.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
It is graduation season, and if you're on social media, your feed is probably flooded with announcements. But your proud post about your child or family member's graduation could put your privacy at risk. Here to talk with us about 4 key ways you can celebrate those milestones safely is cybersecurity expert Kimberly Simon. Kimberly, great to see you again.
Good to see you.
So graduation is a huge milestone, of course,
yes.
And lots of people, they're happy about that moment. They want to share it on social media. Why is there a concern about a risk to privacy for that?
You're right. Graduation season is a time for celebration, but sharing too much information online can make that celebration into a gateway for cyber criminals. Remember, the information that you share can be used to bypass security questions. It can be used to impersonate you or your children, and it can also be used to figure out and create profiles around you.
Okay, so let's walk through some ways that we can make sure that our information is not at risk and still be able to share your pictures, right? So first, you talk about tightening privacy settings.
Great. First thing is to tighten your privacy settings. So go into your social media and look at your settings. Make sure that your posts are only visible to friends and not the general public. You want to go back if you've already posted, and if you have posts with a lot of personal information, just make sure that they're only visible to friends and not the general public.
Okay. And then also you were talking about editing some of that identifiable information, or we're not telling folks to take down the post necessarily, but be careful what you share. You talk about like full names, for example, or school names.
Absolutely. So if you have a post and it's got your photo, it's got the name of your school, your graduation year, the city you live in, it's a lot of information right there. So you can go back to posts where you're sharing too much information and just edit. You don't have to take down the post, but you can just trim down some of those breadcrumbs that you've been leaving for cyber criminals.
All right, and might be a good time to think about the passwords that you're using, and if you're using any graduation information to make up your password.
Oh, Renee, you'll be so amazed how many people use their school as their password. And yet, that's public information. So if you are using the name of your school, the name of your college as your password, change that right now. And if you are using the name of your school as one of those security questions that you use when you forget your password, for example, you want to go ahead and change that. Anything that you're sharing publicly on
That's
social
too
media.
easily-
It's so
to
easy
find.
to
Yeah.
reset your password by saying what's the name of your first pet when you post it every day, or the name of your school when you've been sharing that on social media.
Sure. So maybe if you do want to share that information, then don't make it your password. Come up
Don't
with
make it your
something
password, and
completely
don't
different.
make it your security question.
Okay, and finally, most people don't realize that kids can be victims of identity theft. So how can we protect our kids when
yes.
we want to share some good news about them?
Absolutely. So the first thing is to monitor your child's credit and also consider freezing it until it's needed, because often teenagers are being targeted for identity theft.
Right, Kimberly Simon, always good to have you, and thank you for letting us know how we can protect our information while safely sharing our pics online. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Chris.
Artificial intelligence is evolving extremely fast. Experts say some models have become self-aware and are rewriting their own code. Researchers say in a series of tests, powerful AI models refused human commands. A new program, in fact, from OpenAI reportedly sabotaged a shutdown process when instructed to allow yourself to be shut down. That was the command given. In another case, an AI chatbot threatened to expose the engineer in charge for an alleged extramarital affair.
It knows how to program, so it'll figure out ways of getting around restrictions we put on it. It'll figure out ways of manipulating people to do what it wants.
OpenAI has not commented on the claims, and industry experts suggest the programs will soon learn how to manipulate people into doing what they want. Yeah, Sarah Connor would not be pleased to hear about that. All right, we do want to take a look at our weather forecast right now. We saw Elizabeth Gardner out there at the brand new Gibson Play Plaza. Let's see, what are you doing right now? I see some fun little toy behind you that they're kind of spinning around there, Elizabeth.
So they know that it's going to be really hot in the summer here in North Carolina. So it's water time. So much fun. And it's not just your typical splash pad that you would find at a pool. There are all these cool things that you can touch and spin. You can walk through the water, and it actually looks like a real creek. It's so neat. Come over here. And there's a waterfall over here. You can play. You got this guy over here in his truck in the water, and then it goes all the way down to another pool, and then all the way down to where there's water and sand. I mean, I can't even explain just how huge and creative and absolutely amazing this place is. But obviously on a day like today, this is a very popular spot. Everybody's out here trying to get in the water. There's this giant rock over here that the water is coming down, so you can kind of, get as much of yourself in the water as you want to. And if it's just too much, you can come into the building over here. This whole place is called Watermill Mountain. And so, again, you just got so many things to touch, so many ways to get associated with the water. It's just amazing. I think I said this earlier, but 18 acres of places to play here. It's incredible. You got a little water mill right here. You can give that a little spin, a little whirl. And then this is the neat building. Again, just something to touch absolutely everywhere. It's really, really amazing. All right. So we actually have some business that we have to take care of as well, and that is talking about the weather. And of course, we do have the potential for having some severe storms over the weekend. It's not going to be one of those weekends where it's a washout. You remember yesterday it rained and it was cool. This is going to be a real summer type event for us. So we're looking at afternoon and evening thunderstorms with some windows in the morning. So let's take a look at what's happening out there currently with our forecast, and we'll check out the graphics and you can see what's going on out there. This is satellite radar. And the low pressure system that brought us all the rain yesterday is moving right on out of here. And that next low back to our west is moving on in. So our rain chances are fairly low today. Just off to our west, we could end up with a few isolated storms. Then it's a 60% chance Saturday and a 70% chance on Sunday. And you can see here, these are the timelines. This is also a look at what our severe threat is. The green is level 1 and the yellow is level 2. So Saturday from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., you really want to be weather aware, and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that really takes up most of the afternoon and evening. We have a brand new redesigned WRAL weather app. You definitely want to download that and have it with you this weekend. If you're going to be out here at Gibson Play Park or wherever you're going to be, you can set the alerts to let you know when severe weather is coming your way. And we will be fully staffed all weekend. You can watch us on WRAL News Plus and WRAL TV. Around town this afternoon, I can tell you right now, it is hot and humid. Nearly 90 for the high temperature this afternoon. And the muggy meter goes off the chart this weekend, all the way to tropical. We have not had a tropical muggy meter yet this year. So that means this weekend, mid to upper 90s, and here in the water is where you want to be. It'll be slightly cooler on Sunday, feeling more like low to mid 90s. We get a bit of a break from the precipitation on Monday, and then after that, back to another chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Now, it might look like I totally got in the water because I was so sweaty, but I'll tell you what. I'm just speechless. I mean, this place is amazing. More to show you coming up in half an hour.
Like, that place was built more for you than those kids around you, Elizabeth, but you're having a good time.
Elizabeth in her element. All right, we'll check back in with you in a little bit. Well, coming up on WRAL News at 4 p.m., social district concerns. The Wake Forest Social District went into effect last night. Why some people are concerned about the policy allowing people to drink alcoholic beverages while walking around outside in public spaces.
Then at 5 p.m., taste testing trouble. The mistake a restaurant employee made that contaminated food and helped lead to a B health score. This week's restaurant ratings. Air conditioner concerns. Nearly 2 million units under a recall this noon. Why keeping cool could make you sick.
Air quality alert. Chicago's air quality is among the worst in the world right now. Why strong winds are welcomed in the Windy City. We have two important recalls to tell you about. The first involves an air conditioning unit that could expose people to mold. The Midea Group is recalling nearly 2 million of the U&U Plus window air conditioners. A design flaw could allow water to pool inside the unit, which would cause mold to grow. The units are sold under several brand names at various outlets, including Amazon, Costco, and Home Depot. Customers also bought them on Lowe's and Walmart websites. Contact Midea for a free repair or a prorated refund. We also have a recall for Aldi shoppers. The grocery chain is recalling the Casa Mamita churro bites filled with chocolate hazelnut cream. That's due to the presence of milk, which is a known allergen not listed on the label. The churro bites were sold in 13 states, including here in North Carolina. They have a best if used by date of July 14th. If you want, you can return them to the store for a full refund.
Roughly 100 workers in Amazon's books divisions are searching for a new job. That includes the Goodreads review site and Kindle units. The company says this is meant to streamline operations. Most of Amazon's recent job cuts have targeted its devices and services unit. Amazon added about 4,000 jobs, give or take, compared to last year's fourth quarter. Walmart is expanding drone delivery to more customers. Right now, the service is only available to shoppers near Walmart HQ in Bentonville, Arkansas, and Dallas-Fort Worth. Over the next several months, though, drone delivery service will be available at more than 100 new stores, including in the Charlotte area. The service is about $20 per delivery, but it is free for Walmart Plus customers for a limited time.
Lululemon stock is on pace for its worst day in more than 5 years and its fourth worst day ever. This morning, stocks of the athleisure brand plunged more than 17%. The company's CEO blamed the current tariffs. Following the likes of Nike, On, and other similar brands, Lululemon will implement strategic price increases on things like yoga pants, shoes, and shorts.
Gifts and golf. Americans are expected to spend top dollar on dad. How Father's Day spending compares to spending on mom.
Moon landing mishap. Maybe the third time will be the charm. What manufacturers blame for a second failed attempt. First, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
This afternoon is hotter and drier, but storms are in the forecast for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday are WRAL weather alert days.
Which is why meteorologist Amy Wilmoth is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with the timing for those storms.
That's right. Want everyone to rest assured we do not have severe storms in the forecast in the daylight hours today. Things are very quiet on radar right now, but over the weekend it is going to be very active. We do have that threat for severe weather both days right during the weekend. So weather alert day Saturday, everyone under under a level 2 risk. In fact, if you're going to the mountains or the coast, the entire state under that level 2 risk. The timing for us is going to be around 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 10 o'clock in the evening. And the biggest threat will be strong damaging winds. And then we move to Sunday, and most of the area, all of the triangle points to the east and south under that level 2 risk. The timing around 2 o'clock in the afternoon until around 10 o'clock in the evening. And the biggest threat will be strong damaging winds. So both days feature severe weather. We want to make sure that you stay safe. So what you can do right now is download our new WRAL weather app. There's a lot of new features. It's custom made. Our entire team of meteorologists were in the development process to make sure everything was on there that we thought you needed to have. Just make sure you turn on the alerts, and it's going to let you know if rain or storms is approaching your area. It gives you several minutes to get inside to safety. It'll let you know if there are warnings for your area as well. And on top of that, our Severe Weather Center is going to be staffed the entire weekend. If we're not live in a newscast, then we'll be live on our streaming channel, WRAL News Plus. So we have it covered this weekend, but both days, Saturday and Sunday, feature storms in the afternoon and evening that could turn severe. Elizabeth will have more on this coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Amy. And folks, please turn your notifications on as well. Gangs are not just a problem in North Carolina cities. They're everyone's problem. That was the message to the Governor's Crime Commission. Representatives from the NC Gang Investigators Association and State Highway Patrol addressed the commission yesterday. They said gangs are present in all 100 counties in our state. They encouraged the commission to support gang units in each county and say that gangs don't just deal in drugs and weapons.
When you see human trafficking, you are highly likely looking at gangs. They gave up a lot of their drugs for people many, many years ago. So when we're talking about human trafficking, you can't have that conversation without talking about gang activity.
A representative from State Highway Patrol says he's surprised by the amount of fraud related to gang activity. He says gangs turn to fraud because it's less likely to mean prison time than other crimes. Actually, a recent WRAL documentary exposes the growing gang problem in North Carolina. You can watch Easy Targets, Gangs Getting Younger in North Carolina right now on WRALdoc.com.
Father's Day is around the corner, and spending is expected to reach record highs. Jen Sullivan has some ideas on what to get Dad this year.
It's the time of year to celebrate the dads in our lives, and shoppers are going all out.
They want to commemorate Dad. They want him to have a special day.
Catherine Cullen with the National Retail Federation says Father's Day spending is expected to reach $24 billion this year. Cullen says that's a record. So how much are people budgeting for? According to the NRF's latest survey, shoppers plan to spend just under $200 per person this year. That's about $10 more than last year.
There are certainly a lot of activities that consumers are planning for their dads, whether that's a special meal out, an event like golfing or going on a hike or bike ride, or maybe going to a sporting event together or tickets to a concert later in the year.
Shoppers are also spending money on clothing, gift cards, electronics, and personal care.
We've seen that about 43% of consumers plan to gift a subscription box. These are gifts that continue to give throughout the year.
Colin says some retailers are running sales ahead of Father's Day, so shoppers can score some deals right now.
That was Jen Sullivan reporting. Now, if you're wondering whether people spend more on Mom for Mother's Day, the answer is yes. The National Retail Federation projected that people spent roughly $60 more on Mother's Day.
An annual fatherhood conference will celebrate dads and father figures this weekend. This year's theme of the North Carolina Fatherhood Conference is the well-being of fatherhood, mentally, physically, and financially. The goal is to get fathers to not only take care of their families financially, but also to pay attention to their physical and mental health.
You have your church revivals to reinvigorate your spirit. The same principle for the Fatherhood Conference. It helps revitalize your spirit. It helps build you up. We want to educate you. We want to motivate you. We want to celebrate the fathers.
You're built up. You can be present for your family. During the conference, Trailblazer Awards and a Father of the Year Award will be presented there. The event is tomorrow at the Wake Chapel Fellowship Hall on Tar Heel Club Drive in Raleigh. It'll feature breakout sessions, workshops, even a health and vendor market.
You can still catch some of the best soccer action in the country in Cary. It is day 3 of the soccer tournament at the Wake Med Soccer Park. Games are underway right now as teams move through the bracket. The men's teams are in the knockout round today. A $1 million prize is on the line in both the men's and women's tournaments. Tickets for today's event are available online. Crash on the moon. Why Japan's lunar lander failed to live up to its name.
Off-roading fail. Where the vehicle ended up that led to a helicopter rescue operation. Just a reminder, you can watch WRAL News live anytime on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device.
Deliberations resumed in the trial of a man accused of killing and dismembering a 19-year-old woman after they went on a date. Maxwell Anderson is charged with murdering and dismembering Sade Robinson in April 2024 in Milwaukee. Police testified that Anderson's cell phone contained graphic photos of the victim. Officers also used the cell phone to trace his locations on the night of the murder. The state admitted more than 300 pieces of evidence and called more than 65 witnesses. The defense did not call any. Japan's moonlander crashed for a second time while trying a touchdown today. iSpace declared the mission a failure after communication was lost with the lander. And as the lander approached the moon's surface, flight controllers scrambled to establish contact, but were met with silence. A preliminary analysis indicates the lander descended too quickly due to an altitude system malfunction. 2 years ago, the Japanese company's first moonshot ended in a crash landing.
People who live in the Windy City aren't quite thrilled about what the winds have brought right now. Chicago is under an air quality alert until tonight. The reason, smoke from wildfires in Canada have blown into the area. Air in most of Chicagoland is considered unhealthy for all, and people who must go outside are cautioned to wear a mask and shower as soon as they get indoors. The owner of an off-road vehicle wanted to test its abilities, and plot twist, did not appear to go as planned. The California Highway Patrol's South Lake Tahoe division sent a helicopter to rescue 2 off-road enthusiasts, as they're called. Their vehicle became stuck in a strong current of the Carson River, and this is actually the second vehicle in the last few weeks to get stuck in the river, and the occupants needed to be rescued.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we know that President Trump is coming to Fort Bragg next week on the 10th. But now we have a little bit more information about this. Fort Bragg will host President Trump for a dynamic display of military force on Tuesday. We've learned hundreds of paratroopers and military equipment will be on hand for a readiness demonstration. Additionally, he will also deliver remarks to thousands of Fort Bragg soldiers and families. This all comes ahead of next Saturday, June 14th in D.C., a military parade planned to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday.
Understanding sickle cell disease. After the break, information on a special event to raise awareness.
And deeper depression. Why experts say restricting too much may worsen symptoms. Sickle cell disease affects 100,000 people in the U.S. More than 6,800 live here in North Carolina, and more than 90% of patients are Black. The life expectancy of those with sickle cell disease is more than 20 years shorter than the average expected. And joining us to talk about a special event to educate the public is Kalisha Hagens, chair of the governor's appointed Council on Sickle Cell Syndrome and Education, and Tasha Swenson, head of the Sark Foundation. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us to talk about this.
Thank you for having us.
So this is a very important topic. Kalisha, give us a little bit of the background, your history of the journey living with sickle cell disease.
Living with sickle cell, what one should know is that you're born with it and it's hereditary. And you live a life full of a lot of pain, tissue and organ damage. Some patients experience increased risk of strokes and heart attacks. And then there's also the financial piece as well.
Imagine it takes a toll.
Absolutely.
Goodness. And Tasha, why is it so important for the Sark Foundation to host this event so other people become more educated?
It's important for us to host this because we want to make sure that the community is educated on what sickle cell is and how they can help. You know, Sark being a reentry organization, anti-recidivism, we typically would focus more on that end, but me being that health director and kind of pushing the community education, that's how we're expanding that, making sure we're educating the community.
Education is so important. More people will obviously be more aware of this and how severe of an issue it is. Kalisha, talk a little bit about the topics the discussion will cover during this roundtable.
We'll talk about myths. A lot of people just don't know. They hear of sickle cell. They may only know about famous artists or people that have it, but we're going to talk about the facts. And it's not limited to the African American community. However, it is most prominent. And so we're just going to really have a deeper dive and really educate people and bridge the gap from patients to caregivers to family members, community. We really need to bridge the gap.
And whereas, obviously, very important event, registration is required to attend it. So tell us a little bit, Tasha, about how viewers can attend if they're listening right now and they're watching right now and they go, I want to be a part of this.
All right, well, let's start with the date. It's going to be on Saturday, June the 14th, from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And the location is going to be at the American Red Cross over on 100 North Pear Tree Lane in Raleigh. And in order to register, if you're taking a look at the it's actually right up there on the flyer. You'll just scan that QR code and get registered there. You'll leave your participant's name. You must be 12 years and 12 years old and older in order to participate. And also during that same time period, from about 9 to 2, we'll be having the blood drive. And that's going to be focused on sickle cell disease.
We need your blood.
Very important. People will want
Yes.
to attend it. Kalisha and Natasha, thank you so much for joining us for this very important topic.
Thank you for having us.
Restricting calories for your physical health may have a negative impact on your mental health. A new study found that people who followed a calorie-restricted diet were more likely to have higher symptoms of depression. This was particularly true for men and people with a higher body mass index. People who ate more ultra-processed foods experienced a higher rate of depression symptoms than those on a Mediterranean-style diet. Tell you what, something good for your physical and mental health. Get outside, enjoy the weather, maybe hit a park, and may we suggest Dorothea Dix Park, Gibson Play Plaza, where once again we find Elizabeth Gouter. Elizabeth, look at that, just lounging around on the job on company time.
What? We are worn out, I mean, there's 18 acres worth of this park, which is incredible. We finally made it over here to the swings, and the swings are so much fun. The swings are amazing. I mean, they're special. I mean, like this one, you can get up here, with your friends. You can take a little nap in it. So, I mean, every single thing is special. But I mean, we didn't even scratch the surface of all the amazing things that there are to see out here. It's incredible. Officially, the opening festivities begin at 4 o'clock and last until 6 o'clock. Weather's going to be fine for that. We don't have a real chance for showers and thunderstorms. All I can say is this is one of the stickiest, muggiest days I think that we've had all year. Just personal experience. With all the humidity coming in, we do know that we have some severe storms that we have to worry about for Saturday and Sunday. So let's jump in and talk about that. We're going to start again with a look at the wide view and what our risks are in terms of our thunderstorms over the weekend. Both days we have a level 2 risk for severe storms. So you're just going to want to kind of watch the time.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today.
Large amounts of suspected cocaine, meth, and marijuana were seized from a home this morning in Zebulon. This happened on West Franklin Street. Police say the search is part of a joint investigation with Wake Forest Police aimed at addressing the sale and distribution of illegal drugs. It's not clear, though, if officers made any arrests during the search.
Residents and business owners in Sanford are assessing damage and cleaning up after yesterday's flash flooding. Water rushed into several businesses. Creeks quickly overflowed and flooded roads, leaving some drivers stranded. The water has receded. Roads have reopened. This area, though, is under a level 2 risk for more storms this weekend.
The Gibson Play Plaza at Dix Park officially opened today. A ribbon-cutting ceremony for the 8.5-acre playground will be held at 4 for it to officially open at that time. The park features giant slides, climbing structures, a splash pad, picnic area, and so much more. Gibson Park will be open 7 days a week. Events are planned all weekend to celebrate the opening.
So much to see there. A handbag that started a worldwide trend hits the auction block at the end of the month. Sotheby's is auctioning the original Hermes Birkin bag, owned by late actress and singer Jane Birkin. Birkin asked Hermes to make a bag large enough for her regular belongings, and the rest is history. Other secondhand Birkins have sold for anywhere between $5,000 to $220,000. Sotheby's will not speculate how much the bag will sell for, but said it could redefine records.
Ooh, maybe on par with those, Trader Joe's bag people selling for like $300 on eBay?
Yeah.
All right, so our pet of the day comes to us from the SPCA of Wake County. Amelia is a 5-year-old spayed female short-hair cat. She is FIV positive, which means that she should be the only cat or with other FIV positive cats. Amelia has been described as dog-like due to how confident, affectionate, and food motivated she can be. She is very sweet, she's welcoming, and likes to solicit affection from her human friends on her terms. To learn more about Amelia, you can contact the SPCA of Wake County. That is a very beautiful cat.
Very much so. It's been fun watching Elizabeth just show us around the Gibson Play Plaza at Slide Valley and Watermill Mountain, and so many places to check out. The official grand opening is at 4, then the ribbon cutting at 4:30. This park has been 3 years in the making. It is going to make Dix Park a destination place, and you can certainly see why.
And it's not just for kids, adults can go too. So if you see me on the swing, mind your business.
Oh, the slide is mine. For sure.
ABC News Daily is next on WRAL. Your next local news update is in 30 minutes.
I'll arm wrestle you for it. You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Hope you have a wonderful Friday, and be sure to stay tuned to WRAL for the weather, the unsettled weather that we'll see this weekend.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.